So I wanted to do a quick video about this and post some stuff I recorded. Um, I want to make the video about it, just explain what it is and what I'm posting because it's kind of weird out of context. Essentially, in my town, AOC and Bernie came to give a speech about, this part of their fighting the oligarchy tour and billionaires tour. And I would have gone. I was actually invited to go. I just did not have the time. I was working today. Of course, it was downtown. So as I'm rolling from the comic book shop down to the theater I work at to get to work, I'm seeing all these Trumpies outside. And, finally had a little bit, finally I was there early. So I went over there and I recorded and talked to some of them. But I got to say, it really is beautiful to see all these Trumpies out there in an odd way, because you really realize we had all these people for Bernie and AOC. They were outside the door. I don't think there was as many people there as there are as other events, obviously, but I think it's just because this is a large town, but it is a very conservative town. I wouldn't even say a conservative town. I would argue this town's more non-political in a lot of ways, but they were there, and they were, I was lines outside the door of this small little area, and it was great to hear them speak. I listened to them speak. I didn't actually get to see them face to face, but I got to hear both of them speak for a minute. But I think it was beautiful to see the Trumpies outside, because it really just emblematic something sad to these people, to me, is that they really can't. So it was great seeing them out there, because you understand that they're losing this fight. There was less people there for protesting for Trump than there were people actually at the event, which is just the emblematic of what's happening in this country. And then the other side of it is you see all these people out there who aren't even able to fight Bernie Sanders and these people on their merits, or because all the people protesting across the street, they were waving fucking signs for Trump. There was one dude that had a 2028 sign. It's like, get the fuck out of here. The Constitution doesn't allow that. But the other people, they were all like protesting abortion. And of course, I listened to a couple of them talk, because I just want to hear what they had to say, Because I was explaining to another guy, and that's the first clip I'm going to post today. This first guy I was listening to, he was just the guy selling like t-shirts and pins and stuff, which I did buy one. And I bought one because I had to roll past them just to get to work. And and there wasn't any of the people there for the Bernie thing yet. So I wanted to show them, hey, I'm not on your side. So I just put this on and then I rolled down the street. But it was kind of funny. But basically I asked, I was talking to him, listening to him talk, and I was telling him, I don't even think all these Trumpies out here are my enemy, really. I think it's just the billionaires, and that's the problem in this country. We're like punching down, not up. So I thought that was an interesting conversation. You could tell he really felt that, and we were really just into that. And then I did talk to a Trumpy. He had a very weird sign up. Basically, his sign, I didn't show any of these people's faces because Trump people get weird. I just record their voices, just listen to them talk. But this guy, he had a little. He was a black dude. It was a sign with like a black dude in chains. And the chains wrapped around to a baby's umbilical cord. And he's like, equal rights for everybody, right? And I didn't really ask him anything about it. I was just kind of looking at it because I was just kind of confused. Like I knew the sign was like about abortion, but like, why is slavery connected to that? Like that's a very weird thing. But then he started talking to me and he's like, do you believe in equal rights for all? And I'm like, of course, who doesn't? And then he points over at the Bernie people and thinks they don't, even though it's like, of course that's not true. Like they're literally waving pride flags and trans flags, which are like literally symbols of acceptance for everybody. And, but you see this shit you see this shit out there. And so he starts talking to me, and he goes and says that, and then he goes, they're killing babies and calling it healthcare. Well, and I was going, yeah, but you got to think about those stories in Texas where you're having women being forced to give birth to non-viable pregnancies, And he's like, "Oh, that's propaganda. That's just a lie." And I'm like, "That's not a lie. You know, the woman did have to leave her state. She openly admitted this." And he's like, "Well, that's how bloodthirsty they are. They're leaving states to have abortions, you know." And it's just fucking crazy. You're listening to these people, and I don't know. I don't angry at these people. I listen to what they have to say. They were, you know, I will say, even though these people were saying the most horrific, disgusting things, and in a lot of ways they weren't acting in good faith, in terms of shit they believe, but they were treating me with respect. I was treating them with respect. And that's really just where we had to be. You know, I rode past all these Trump supporters. I smiled at them. I told them have a good day. And that's really the way we need to be with Trump supporters. The ones you should be angry at are the ones who go and commit violence, who riot at the Capitol. Those are your enemies, not these people. But I just wanted to make this video just kind of talking about that and what I saw. And I think it is important to just share that with you guys. That's kind of the point of this channel. So there's a couple clips of me having conversations with people. Audio might be a little bit shit. It's just all I could really get. I apologize about that. But let me know what you think about all this. And thanks for watching.